January 1st, 1912, marked the enactment of a new law instituted by the Massachusetts state legislature that lowered the work week from 56 to 54 hours for women and children under 18. In the textile industry, women and children constituted half of the population. In order to compensate for the loss of hours, Lawrence mill owners reduced all wages by 3.5%. and explained the cut as a means of remaining competitive with mills in New England and the South, who had even lower wages. The workers had endured long hours and dangerous working conditions. However, the 32-cent reduction was the last straw. January 11, 1912, was the day the workers received their paychecks and witnessed the impact the wage reduction would have on the survival of their families firsthand. In response, a group of Polish women at the Everett Cotton Mill began a walkout. Soon, the streets were flooded with 14,000 workers, which were mainly comprised of immigrant women and children, who demanded a 15% pay increase, maintenance of a 54-hour work week, double pay for overtime, and abolition of the bonus system. On January 13, 1912, aid came to the strikers with the involvement of the industrial workers of the world. National IWW leaders Joe Etter and Arturo Giovannitti prepared, organized, and led the strike to Lawrence's City Hall. They also took care of the strikers and their families by feeding them through soup kitchens and other forms of food distribution, and also by paying those families $2 to $5 a week. Within 2 weeks, 25,000 people had joined the strike.
The Lawrence Textile Strike, also known as the Bread and Rose Strike, was not an easy win. Mill owner and Massachusetts Governor Eugene Foss underestimated the power of the uneducated immigrant workers, so they decided against hiring scabs, figuring that the strike would be over in a couple of days. To Foss's chagrin, the strike lasted for weeks and they did not win. Though well worth it, the strikers did not have an easy win. They spent weeks marching in the cold with little to no income. The workers wanted fair wages, bread, and dignity, roses.
Bread and roses, as we go marching, marching, we battle too for men, for they are women's children, and we mother them again. Our lives shall not be sweated from birth.
Due to the retaliation of the workers, the mayor of Lawrence called in Massachusetts militiamen and police from nearby cities to patrol the streets and keep the workers at bay by dousing them with water hoses. However, the Lawrence Textile Strike received extensive press coverage that produced a cascade of support for the workers and their families from the public. After numerous workers and children testified in front of Congress about the working conditions in the mills, President Taft ordered an investigation of industrial conditions throughout the nation. The government also issued negotiations between the Massachusetts Bureau of Labor and mill owners over concern of the public's reaction to the hearings, which contributed to the end of the strike.
The strike remained peaceful until January 29th, when police and troopers opened fire on the strikers, killing one woman. Only a couple days later, on February 4th, women and their children were waiting at a train station in Lawrence, trying to catch a train to Philadelphia. The police tried preventing the families from leaving on the train. Many of the women and their kids were brutally beat by the police. The public was shocked by this. Because of the tragedy, people stopped wearing clothes that were made in the Lawrence factory. The violence got so bad that parents were sending their children to other cities to live with their extended family.
On March 12, 1912, the Lawrence Textile Strike had come to an end, with the American Woolen Companies, the largest Lawrence mill owners, agreement to all of the strikers' demands.
The strike had lasting effects that not only benefited the Lawrence factory workers, but workers all over the country. In fear that their employees would go on strike, textile factories all around the New England area gave their workers raises. Eventually, this movement even led to factories in other industries giving their employees raises as well. The win for the Lawrence factory workers brought justice to all factory workers.